You clicked on this video because you just found out that your partner has bipolar disorder, and you're wondering what the next steps are and whether this will even be doable. In this video, I'm going to talk about smart next steps for you and your partner, the necessary mindset that both of you have to keep the relationship moving forward, whether you should even stay in this relationship to begin with. If you're ready to hear those things that you and your partner need to do after your partner has been diagnosed with bipolar, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more tips moving forward. I'm sure that you probably have a lot of hesitations, maybe some second guessing of whether this is the best relationship for you moving forward. And I'm going to be honest, dating someone with bipolar is not easy. And I can attest to that mostly because I have not been the easiest to be with, and I honestly have been doing my absolute best to be stable, and I still give my partner a hard time sometimes. That being said, I think it's possible for any partnership to work out. There's just a few things that both of you have to be committed to and keep in mind moving forward. So the first thing that you've probably already done if your partner has been diagnosed is to seek professional help. This is so important because you don't want to end up being your partner's therapist, your partner's doctor, for lack of a better term, but you want your partner to receive the professional help and also relieve some of that emotional load off of you. I think that is super important also because oftentimes it's the doctors, the professionals that know the best steps, the ones that can help with the coping skills and maybe medications if that's something that you're looking into. I honestly think that to start out, medications are an important crutch to help with learning the coping skills that are necessary. I don't think that I would be where I am today without medications, because even though I at first was completely against them, I didn't want to take them, they have helped me so much in bringing the mental health stability halfway so that I could bring myself the rest of the way. So that's the first thing, is having a therapist, a psychiatrist, just that support system that will help with keeping these cycles a little more stable and to help track it, because it shouldn't be only on the partner, and definitely for people who are just diagnosed, it's not easy to keep on top of it on your own. You need that extra help to get started. I would say now, after over 10 years of living with bipolar, I still sometimes need a little bit of a reminder from my partner, from the people closest to me, saying, you have a little too much energy right now, maybe you should take a step back and relax. Or, I've noticed you've been feeling down lately, how can we address this, sort of thing. It's not to say that it's all on the professionals either. There's definitely a piece that you and your partner play in having a stable relationship and managing bipolar. It's a little bit of both, and you definitely need the professional help at first. The next thing that I'm going to mention that is more of a checkbox to make sure that this is honestly a good relationship moving forward is that your partner and you are committed to stability and wellness. A lot of times, what I'm seeing is the person with bipolar is not always able to recognize that they need help, especially when they get into those manic phases, when they get into feeling good in those states. And while that is true, it can be addicting getting into feeling good, feeling manic. It's not the best for the people around them, and it's not best for the person with bipolar. A lot of impulsive decisions can be made during that time, and it's important to recognize that while it may feel good in the moment, it's not healthy, and honestly, stability is the biggest goal moving forward. So that's one thing that you and your partner have to have a conversation about, and have a serious conversation about. Because if you're committed to helping them through this thing, but they're not recognizing that they have a problem or recognizing that they have to put in a lot of work for stability, to maintain a good relationship, then honestly, the relationship is not worth moving forward. It's just not going to work out in the end. Usually, what I see is for the person that has bipolar, if they're not committed to stability, they're not committed to mental health wellness, it turns into this endless cycle of pushing their partner away, you pushing you away, pulling you back, pushing you away, pulling you back. And honestly, without proper treatment, the bipolar person can be almost emotionally abusive. I wouldn't say it's always intentional. It's honestly a lot to do with the disorder, especially if you know the person to be kind hearted, good at communicating, and all the good traits that you want in a partner. If they were like that before the relationship and then all of a sudden it's like as soon as they started having problems with bipolar, it was like switch flipped and now they're blaming you for stuff, flaky. Like, it's often the disorder that has caused these new behaviors. For a person to have those problems and not want to address them, that's when it becomes a real issue, because you need to be able to manage mental health to have a healthy, stable relationship. So that's just my 2 cents about it. If you or your partner who is struggling with bipolar is not willing to commit to stability and mental health wellness, which takes a lot of work, it's just not going to work long term. So if you've checked off that box, the next thing is to research, because there is so much out there that you probably don't know about bipolar disorder, about what it's like to date someone with bipolar, what it's like to be someone with bipolar disorder. So you got to do the hard work of figuring out what this all means, what the signs are, and there's honestly so much that is different between each person with bipolar. There's going to be a lot of trial and error too. In addition to the research, there requires a lot of patience on both sides. A lot of times, partners of people with bipolar kind of get exhausted, can get emotionally drained from trying to help their partner, especially when their partner isn't committed to wellness themselves. So there's been countless times I've tried to tell people who are in that cycle of instability with a partner with bipolar for years is you got to make a decision for yourself. Either you keep going in this cycle or something has to change. And usually people want that change. It's just a matter of whether that means a clean break from the relationship or somehow getting your partner on board with wellness. I know that research is so important for people that are helping those with bipolar. In fact, a lot of my views on my channel are from people who are trying to help someone with bipolar. And while that is important, I think it's just as important that the person with bipolar is doing that same research. They have to know all the things, the ins and outs, what makes them cycle upwards or downwards, and be ready to make the changes and adjustments as those changes come. Another thing for you as the partner to really think about is you are going to be part of this person's support system moving forward forever if you stay in the relationship. And if you're not down for that, that's totally okay. It's not for everyone, but you need to be honest with yourself early on before you get too far into it. For a working relationship, there needs to be two-way communication. And even if everything isn't brought up immediately, I think that addressing the important problems is one of the most important things in any relationship. And the final thing, if you've gotten this far, is you can't expect the person that you're with to be the same person that you met before they were diagnosed with bipolar. It's just unrealistic. If I were to sit here and say, as long as you check all these boxes, you will get the same person that you had before they were diagnosed. That is simply not true. The person before the diagnosis is not the same person that you're going to be after stability with the diagnosis. There's just too many experiences, too many things that the person has dealt with, and I don't want to say that there's going to be less fun or less of a person because of that, There's just going to be a more well-rounded, a more experienced individual by the end of the whole process of learning what bipolar means, what it means for them, and what stability means for them. To wrap up everything I've said, the first thing that you need to do with your partner is to seek professional help if you haven't already. The next thing is to make sure that you and your partner are both committed to stability and mental health wellness. And if one of you aren't, it's a time to take a step back and reassess. Next thing is research as much as you can about bipolar disorder. And this is something both you and your partner need to do. The next thing I talked about was your readiness to be a support person in their life. And the next thing is really important for all relationships is communication and respect in the relationship. And the last thing I mentioned was you can't expect your partner to be the same person that you met at the beginning, because chances are they're going to be a changed person, you're going to be a changed person. The relationship that you had before this diagnosis isn't going to come back in exactly the same way. It could be better, but it will be changed. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far and haven't liked or subscribed, please hit the like and subscribe button. It does so much to support my channel, and if you know anybody that would benefit from watching this video, feel free to share it with them. Please share your experiences too. I love it when my supporters comment on my channel and give their input and also share their stories. It just helps build the community and helps break the stigma. It helps share with other people what you're going through and let everyone know that they're not alone. So all of those things will really help my channel grow and will help everyone in this space feel more accepted, more welcomed, and I appreciate everything you do for my channel and for each other. See you next week.